Here at Vanderbilt women's basketball head coach Shea Ralph. Coach, another week of SEC action here. You have a home game against Arkansas, then you hit the road and play a top 25 ranked Alabama team. Just what has your focus been on after just the short turnaround after the upset against Tennessee?
I think that we right now are just focused on continuing to stack days, and we've had a lot of growth over the last week and a half or so. And we had obviously a really great moment on Sunday afternoon, but we turned right back around, and like I said, when we played LSU, whether you win or you lose, you got to get up and go to work the next day. So today, after we were able to give them yesterday off, which is normal in the SEC season, today we got back to work, and we're preparing just like we have been doing for Thursday's game, and then we'll do the same for Sunday's game. So right now it's continuing to ride on the momentum of the win that we have, but also the growth that we have, and making sure that we keep out all the things that kind of get in our way on the path to doing that.
Go ahead, open up the floor for questions.
Coach, you talked a little bit about, turning the page and focusing. How do you kind of make sure your team is really locked in and focused after such a high and emotional win just a couple of days ago?
Well, I think you have to know your team, and you make sure that, for me, it's being efficient with our time, staying focused on not only highlighting some of the things that we did well, but highlighting some of the things that got us into trouble too. And knowing that, hey, we did win a game that was a big game and a big home game to win, but we have to turn around, and we have another big game on Thursday, and we have another big game on Sunday. It's only January. So we can't be complacent. We can't be satisfied. We have to continue to work because that's what put us in the position to do what we did on Sunday. So I'm pretty direct with them about that. I do want them to enjoy the work and embrace the hard part of it and enjoy the success that they have. But it's important that we stay focused and disciplined and very efficient with our time right now to minimize the time on their feet and the chance that we just kind of lose them mentally.
How do you view kind of the challenge and the opportunity that is playing in the SEC with so many great teams, and you guys are receiving votes right now, just that privilege that you can kind of control your destiny because there's so much quality in the league?
Yeah, there is a lot that we can control. I try not to look too far ahead or get caught up in the narrative, and I try to protect my team from that too, because the only thing we can control is how we show up every day and the work that we put in, the way that we prepare, the things that we're doing with our athletes off the court to make sure that they're ready mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I'm not big into getting caught up into that kind of stuff now, because I think it can distract you from what's really important. While I appreciate that we're in position to do that. Playing in the SEC, there's no better conference, and there's no better job to me than this one, and the opportunity we have in all different ways. So it's constantly about how do we handle success, how do we handle failure, how do we continue overcoming obstacles en route to maximizing our full potential as a team, knowing that we have this short window to do it. So we really try to stay focused on the day-to-day, and we talk about those things. Hey, let's eliminate the distractions. Let's eliminate the noise, and let's focus on what are the things we need to get better at, what are the things we have gotten better at, how do we continue to evolve in terms of individual greatness and team greatness so that we can be competitive in every single game we play for the rest of the season.
Do you feel like the team proved something on Saturday or Sunday?
If anything, I feel like they proved something to themselves. I think that we know and we have known that we're capable of that kind of victory, of that kind of performance, of ebbs and flows of the game, and actually executing the things we needed to at the end of the game to win it. But in a way, I think it fostered some belief within them because we actually did it. Mm-hmm. And for a long time now, we've gotten close in games like that, especially in our conference, and we just haven't been able to get over the hump. So if anything, if you ask them, I think that they proved it to themselves. There was a lot of belief today in the locker room and film session, and practice was high energy. So I do think it sparked a little bit of a fire inside them, which is really cool to witness as their coach.
You look at the Arkansas game coming up on Thursday. What are some things you see in them you guys are going to have to look out for prepare for?
Yeah, I think they've, Mike Neighbors does a really great job. I think they've continuously gotten better, and they play a very unique style, similar to Tennessee offensively, where they spread the floor a little bit and try to drive. They shoot a lot of threes. They have a kid that's really tough on the ball, and she scores a lot of points for them. She dominates the ball for them. So it'll be another challenge defensively, but like any other game, you know, we try to make sure that we prepare, but then we stick to our identity.
Michaela Blake, she's seen a lot of recognition, obviously nationally, over the last couple of days. I mean, how cool is that for her to have that moment and kind of get some of that praise, not just locally, but even on a national level now?
It's really neat for her because I think she deserves it, and I think she's earned it. But I wouldn't have known that had you not told me or Chris not told me, because she's not coming in here saying anything about that to anyone. She just comes in here and works. And you know, she's not the only one. Our kids just, I think they focus on our team and making sure that we're in position to win. And that's what makes them special. I'm proud of that, but that's just who they are. That's who that kid is. So she came in today talking about the things that she needs to get better at and the ways that she wants to improve, which is pretty cool considering the things that she's done up to this point and certainly on Sunday.
What does it say about Michaela that as a freshman who doesn't have a lot of experience playing in these big games, she maintained her composure at the end there and made some really big plays?
Yeah. It's, what does it say about her? I think it shows you guys, fans, basketball community, the people watching on TV, it just shows you what she's made of. She's built differently. And a lot of times when you talk about what separates players, there's a lot of things as kids are growing that they have to get better at skill-wise. You know, experience gives you a lot of tools in your toolbox to be a great basketball player down the road. But what Michaela has is something inside of her. It can't be given to her. It can't be coached. It can't be placed inside of her by someone else. That was a gift that she was born with, that was cultivated by her family and her parents. And it just kind of lives inside of her. And that's day in and day out, I think, what makes her great. She's just the ultimate competitor with ultra confidence, and you saw that on Sunday.
With such an emotional win, how do you go about harnessing it the right way and channel it forward?
This game has a lot of highs and lows. Sports has a lot of highs and lows. So I just don't think you give it too much. You harness the feeling, you harness the preparation, you embrace the heart of where we were a week ago, and you talk about it with your kids. I'm not somebody that tries to sugarcoat things. We watch film, we talk about the good stuff, we talk about the bad stuff, or the things we need to improve. And then we keep it pushing, because we know we're gonna face some really good moments and some really tough moments, and how do we overcome that? How do we prepare better for that? So we have longer stretches of great and shorter stretches of not so great, so that we feel like we're here, that our energy is high, that our production is high, that our efficiency is high, but that, you know, our results aren't this. And so in order to harness that, I think you address some of the things that makes it feel like it's up and down, and then you focus on, hey, let's every day, this is what we're gonna do. It's a day-to-day process. We don't get too far ahead, we don't look too far behind. And I think that's, for this team at least, that seems to be a good recipe in terms of our growth.
I know last week was the We Back Pat week. Obviously, you had a relationship with her as a player, and then obviously with your mom as well. You know, what does that week kind of mean, and what significance does it have to you specifically?
It's always a really great opportunity to honor the people who came before you in terms of, you know, whatever it is that you do for me as a player and a coach. And then obviously we had a personal relationship with Pat. My family did, because my mom played basketball with her. So she did some really special things that put me in position, not only as a player, but as a coach, to enjoy the things that I'm enjoying now. And, you know, I have a lot of respect for that, because as the game evolves and the world evolves and the landscape evolves, you just have to really respect the people that did all of that and didn't really receive all the things that we're able to receive now. They did it out of the love for the game. They did it out of the love for their players. And you know, my mom still talks about how much fun she had when she was playing and how much she enjoyed Pat. So hopefully there will be a legacy that lives far beyond what Pat actually did, because her legacy is what she left inside of people in terms of how she treated them how she helped them grow, and the ways that she changed our game so that we can all benefit from it now.
You touched on it over the weekend. I don't know if you want to call it like a little renaissance for Vandy athletics this year. To be part of that, how does that drive you and your team?
That's a good question. There's not a better time to be part of this university, this program. I think the way that it drives me is just to have respect for it every day. There's only so much I can control in my little universe, in my part of the Vanderbilt world over here. And we try to do a really good job of recruiting the right kind of people and players into our program that can be impactful on and off the court. I've tried to do the same with my staff, but then I work for who I work for, right, in terms of our administration and Candace Story-Lee and Chancellor Diermeyer. And those two people, this university and the leaders of it are really, really, really special. And so I try to honor that by how I work every day and the people that I bring into this program and the way that we show up for our games and the way that we show up on the road and the way we travel and the way we treat people. And then I try to make sure that we all learn how to respect the process that has taken us to get here and respect the people that have put us in position and given us these resources to compete at the highest level, to be educated at the highest level. You just have to honor that and respect it. And then as we move forward, you have to believe in that. You know, the future, you're going to do something really special because of the way that you treat the present and the way that you honor the past. Does that make sense? And so it's important that we remember that and that we show up that way every single day, that we show gratitude, and that we show respect in the way that we work.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Best of luck on Thursday against Razorbacks.
Thank you. Good
Thanks
to
so
see
much
you
for your time,
guys.
Coach.
Yeah, of
Thank you,
course.
Coach.
Thanks for being here.